his views on the impact of IFRS adoption in Nigeria. We're joined in the studio today by Kabir Okunlola, who is Senior Manager in Audit Services at KPMG. So, Kabir, you're very welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
First of all, let's talk about the major challenges you think Nigerian banks in particular and, of course, other listed firms will have in adopting IFRS.
Okay, thank you very much. The most fundamental difference that is going to come to the market is the principle of IFRS, which is different from what we do locally.
Right.
IFRS is principle-based, which is fair values, as is most popularly known. In Nigeria, it's cost, and the difference is going to create a lot of challenges for Nigerian companies listed. The volatility that you will create based on what happens in the market. The second challenge is in the areas of systems because of information that you need for measurement and presentation and disclosure.
Right.
The additional information may require installation and investment in new systems, which could be expensive. And the third is in the area of people, which is human capital. You need the information and IFRS across board within the organization, which you also have to make the investment in. Okay,
so putting all that in context, 2012 has been set as deadline. How realistic is that?
It's interesting, it's realistic. The good thing is that a lot of the market players have been expecting IFRS, which is good. All of the regulators, the CBN, SEC have been on board with the Nigeria Accounting Standards Board that is driving the initiative. And all of this have then made the 2012 deadline, something that everybody is looking forward to work towards. By implication, what's going to happen is that for the 2012 to happen, you also need to do 2011 and 2010 for your comparative results, which I think the message is that everybody needs to start now.
Work has to start right away. But let's step back a bit and look at the special audit of the central bank. Obviously, that was significant because it's now exposed huge provisions. It exposed huge weaknesses that led to huge provisions by banks, and as a result, we're all feeling the impact of the banking crisis. Now, in your view, do you think it reflects a weakness in the Nigerian GAAP standard? In other words, could we have seen this coming if we had IFRS on board?
If we had IFRS, we'll have seen it coming. Because one of the greatest problems that we had to deal with during crisis was non-availability of information. It was very difficult to quantify the impact of the crisis on the Nigerian system. And with IFRS, the biggest advantage is sufficient information to allow decision makers make decisions based on the information that is available.
So things like margin loans, for instance, right?
Yes, things like margin loan. I mean, the numbers were going from the lowest to the highest in billions and trillions of the exposure, which eventually, caused the crisis that happened in most of the banks in Nigeria.
Okay, and then let's look at it from the perspective of what does the adoption mean for the Nigerian equity market in particular as an investment destination for Africa?
I think these are exciting times. Everybody is looking forward to IFRS. It's going to, more than ever before, provide the necessary transparency, increased transparency that investors want to know about the result of their companies and the entities that they've invested in. And the other benefit is comparability. I mean, global investors can set benchmarks for Nigerian companies and other companies where they want to invest and use this as basis for decision making.
So, for instance, we can look at the Kenyan bank and the Nigerian bank. We're now more or less comparing like for like in terms of standards.
Definitely.
Those are the type of things we'll begin to see.
Those are the kind of things that you will be seeing.
Right. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your insights there. That was very useful.
It's my pleasure to be on the program.